We have Pastor Wiley Drake. Pastor Wiley Drake, you fought a lot of different kind of battles for we the people. What's your feeling here?
Well, I got a feeling that we were railroaded once again. Those judges seem to appear to sort of try to listen, especially the younger of the two men. Seemed like he wanted to ask some questions. It sounded like he was listening. But the bottom line is Obama is desperate. He put out that piece of garbage paper that everybody's talked about. You don't have to be an expert to look at that thing and look at it and say that was very poorly done. That was the first thing. The second thing is, see, here 2 weeks ago, I began to yell when I was on Fox and other places to be interviewed because I was the lead plaintiff. When I was interviewed, they were asking me why this is so important. After all, it's only a birth certificate. I said, here's what I said. It is a matter of national security because people are leaving the military now in droves because the military operates. See, I went to Vietnam twice. I didn't agree with the Vietnam War. I wasn't a Vietnam War protester, but I went there and I fought twice in Vietnam, but I always did it because of chain of command. The government said, you're in the military, you got to go, you got to go. Now, military is on chain of command. The military is seeing now the commander-in-chief of the military that is not following the chain of command, i.e. the Constitution, and they're fleeing the military. I was contacted then by people saying, what are you talking about this national security for? And I said, because that's the key issue here. It's more than just about the fact that I didn't have a level playing ground as a vice presidential candidate. It's more than that. And so immediately now, Obama comes up with finding Osama bin Laden. I'm a former private investigator. I've done investigations, and in my investigations, what I've found out, 207 is when Osama bin Laden died. He died from kidney failure in 207. He's been dead since 207. Now, Obama, though, came out and said, the commander-in-chief now is going to, we went after the bad guy. Justice has been served. So he wanted to be a hero. And so they resurrected bin Laden. And, and again, there's no evidence. People that'll buy the case. The headlines today was U.S. kills Osama bin Laden. That's a lie. We didn't kill Osama bin Laden. Kidney failure killed him. He drug a dialysis machine all over the desert. One of my fellows had pictures of a dialysis machine. He was dragging a dialysis machine. They'd set up a generator and dialysize him. And he died in 207. And he stayed dead,
Well, he must be buried somewhere. Someone in his family must know where he's at.
Well, I'm sure they probably do. But again, the problem is that nobody has enough money to try to talk one of them into to revealing where he's at. But he's certainly not alive, and certainly not just recently made dead. He's been dead since 207. And anybody that does any investigation in that, you'll find gobs of it all over the internet and so forth. But the bottom line is, Gary mentioned that, are we going to appeal this? And he said, well, that's up to his clients, which is me and Markham Robinson.
I'm asking, are you going to appeal?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't speak for Markham, but as far as I think he'll go along with it. But I've already told Gary I'm in this thing to the end. I'm in it to finish. And they were talking about today that I didn't have standing because I wasn't a candidate, and it was because, and one guy pointed out that, it was like, well, you can't file, you can't complain early because you're not in yet. And once you're not in, then you can't complain because you're too late to complain. Well,
You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
That's right. And I'm here to say that I don't know what Mr. Keyes is going to do, but if Mr. Keyes doesn't run for president, I'm asking people to pray with me and pray for me about the possibility of Wiley Drake as a presidential candidate in the next election.
Well, we'll get that word out there. Thank you very much, Pastor Wiley Drake.
Thank you.
I've known this Pastor Wiley Drake. He's a man of integrity. He's a man who goes out for the homeless people in Orange County, even when the city of, I think it was Buena Park, wanted to beat him up in court. He stood up for the homeless people who had no place else to go.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm going to have to find out, too, I'm a convicted criminal. They convicted me of criminal misdemeanors because I wouldn't kick the homeless people out of my church. I don't know if you can run for president and have that kind of record or not, so I'll have to find out.
Well, just don't tell anybody, and they won't find out till afterwards. That seems to be the way you win.
I could get my legal records from the county, I guess, and doctor them up that said I was found innocent rather than guilty.
Well, here you have it. William Wagner here in front of the courthouse where we hope justice is going to be done, but we fear, just like David O. Carter who hired Sidrith Villamar 2 days before he made his change of heart in '09, and Villamar had worked for the law firm that was representing Obama or the presidency or the United States or whichever nomenclature you want to use. He was working for that law firm, and suddenly, out of all the federal judges in the United States, Villamar decides he's got to be Judge David O. Carter's personal law clerk, and then Judge David O. Carter does a total 180 flip-flop. Because I was in that courtroom on September 8th, 2009. I saw his lips move, Judge Carter's lips move. I heard what he said. He said, this case will be decided on the merits by a federal jury. And he set January of 2010 as the date for the trial. He set dates for motions and all that stuff. And then he changed his mind. And all I can tell you is something isn't right here, people. And it's up for you, the people, to demand they make it right. That's my opinion. See ya.